Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are discussing about insurance. So specifically we are discussing about health insurance. So before we begin about health insurance, let me classify insurance to multiple part. Life insurance, this is mostly you heard about, and health insurance. There are other insurance like vehicle insurance and property insurance. We are not getting into those details right now. So we are specifically focusing on health insurance in this video. And in life insurance, there is term insurance and multiple other insurance as well. So once we get into that detail, our focus is here exactly for health insurance. So let me simplify again. Today's video, we will be completely focusing about health insurance, and going forward, upcoming videos, we will be focusing about life insurance part as well. So health insurance. Okay. So health insurance, before we getting into health insurance again, let me emphasize again, insurance is nothing but covering our life or property or anything against certain things, against some unexpected events or accidents. Let me repeat, insurance is nothing but we are safeguarding, we are covering our life or our health or our property vehicle against certain unexpected events or accidents. In that, specifically, health insurance is nothing but securing our health against, I will add one more point, securing our health by financially for any unexpected event or accident may occur in the future. So this is what health insurance. So in health insurance, I will simplify further it again. Let's say if someone met with accidents or happened any critical illness or he passes away, his life covering against X amount of money or hospitalized for any diseases. So in all these cases, this X amount of lump sum will help you to financially solve all these issues, as simple as that. Before you choose a health insurance, before you choose a health insurance, make sure that the following points are very well checked, because these following points are very mandatory. Most of the people, while taking the insurance, if you are taking through an agent, you might be convinced with whatever the agent is saying, and he or she will be selling the insurance according to the benefit. There is a percentage of benefit he or she is getting, so he or she will be selling according to that. So you will be end up choosing a wrong insurance. So make sure that going forward, if you are selecting an insurance, the following points are must have features in your insurance. This is the mandatory elements or features should in your insurance, irrespective of any insurance you have taken or you are going to take. Point number one, splitting the bill. So there are certain insurance policies. They may say that in the total hospitalization bill, 90% will be paid by the company, 10% will be paid by the patient. I mean the policy holder. Policy holder. So this will be paid by the company, which is not the right way to do. Technically, we say it as a co-payment. You have to choose an insurance where zero co-payment, which means 100 percentage will be paid by the company itself. So zero co-payment. This is the first and foremost point to note. No split bill. No split bill. Okay. Second is room rent restrictions. Room rent restrictions. So there are certain policies which may quote you will be getting 1 percentage of the lump sum amount. Let's say if you are covering yourself with 10 lakh rupees. So this we technically call it as sum assured. Okay. So for that you can get a 1 percentage of the lump sum. So similarly, they may take some clauses. Okay, you might be getting 1 percentage of this amount. Then you have to pay extra for whatever the additional room cost there. It's not about the room cost as well. Let's say if the total billing amount is, let's say for example, 10,000 per day. Okay. And if it is falls under 1 percentage, there is no problem. Let's say it's some way around it goes to 15K, taking as an example. And it not about the 15K, you will be paying whatever the services, whatever the services you will be rendered in that particular room, you will be paying that amount also. So it's a bit tricky part. To be simplify here, make sure that there is no restriction for room rent. So you don't need to get into any complex here. So there will be multiple closure. They will provide 1 percentage or they may provide X amount. So don't need to get into that detail. Make sure that there is no closure for a room rent, which means no restriction for room rent. So no restriction for the room rent. So this is something what we have to make sure. Now moving to the third point, there are certain policies which having disease-wise sublimit. So disease-wise sublimit, which means your policy is 10 lakh, for example, but X disease having only 2 lakh is a sublimit. You can maximum avail uh, sum assured or you can maximum avail benefit of 2 lakh for only for this X disease. Say for example, Y disease having 5 lakh. So even though your 10 lakh rupees as a benefit or total sum assured you are getting from an insurance policy, but on a disease wise you might getting 2 lakh or 5 lakh, which is not the right way to go for an insurance. So make sure that no for disease wise sublimit. This is a third point. Let me recap again three here. No bill split, and which means irrespective of there is no co-payment option and there is no room rent restrictions, and disease wise there is no sublimit. Moving to the fourth point, which is pre and post hospitalization care. Pre bar post hospitalization care. So basically, as term implies, so it's not something that happen like you will. I mean, technically not, but someone get into an accident or any unexpected event and hospitalized, so everything will get cured in the hospitalized. So for certain surgeries, So for a certain health issues, you have to go for a pre, during, and post hospitalization, which means you have to go for a certain pre checkup or pre hospitalization period, and during hospitalization will be there, and post hospitalization care also will be there. In this case, the policy which you are holding or policy which you are going to hold, make sure that which is having pre and during and post hospitalization facility, and check about the data days as well, which means typically it goes to 190 to 180 days. So make sure that this provision is available on in your insurance. And the fifth point is low waiting period. Say for example, if you are having any pre-existing disease, say for example diabetes or BP or even thyroid related issues. So for such cases, the insurance company may say that you have to go for any treatment. For that there will be a waiting period. Okay, for that waiting period, typically for 2 to 4 is the typical 2 to 4 years. Okay, typically for 2 to 4 years is the waiting period. And make sure that you, if you are specifically choosing for such cases, lower the waiting period is better for if you are going for a treatment, if you are a pre-existing disease person. Okay, see, this is against low waiting period. So let me summarize the, and I'll go for one more point, then I will go for summarization. So sixth point, daycare. So daycare facility is nothing but, let's say you are not, or don't want to get into admit, it's something like you can get out of the hospital in a 24 hours. So make sure that your policy holding this daycare. And seventh point, which is again a most important point, if you are going for a family insurance or if you are, it's a single insurance, there should be a restoration benefit, which means if you are holding a 10 lakh worth insurance and 2 lakh 2 lakh you consumed, so then 8 lakh is pending. So it doesn't mean that you can carry forward this 8 lakh only, it should be having that restoration. So you will be end up in the 10 lakh itself. So there will be a restoration period. It might be immediate, or it might be in 6 months, or it might be in few days later. So make sure that it's having lower or less restoration period. So let me reiterate again, or let me recap again from the beginning. So we discuss about what is health insurance, and we are getting into very important topics of, or important elements of health insurance. So there is no bill split, the which means no co-payment requirement, which means 100% insurance will be provided by the company. And room rent no room rent restrictions. So if you are uh, going for any kind of room in a particular hospital, there is zero room payment restrictions. You can choose any room you want. Then there is no disease wise sublimit. Uh, Say X disease having 2 lakh, Y disease having 5 lakh if you are opting for a 10 lakh insurance. So there is no room, there is no disease wise sublimit. Again, there is no pre and post hospitalization restrictions, which means there should be a number of days for pre and post hospitalization care. Of course, during will be there. And if you are having a pre disease, something like diabetes, thyroid, BP, and low waiting period for pre-existing disease. There are typically 2 to 4, and depending upon your cases, you can choose the insurance which is having low waiting period. And daycare facility, even if you don't want to get into more than 24 hours in a hospital, you can choose the daycare option, which should be having daycare facility. And final and again an important one, restoration benefit, which means if you consumed 2 lakh in your 10 lakh insurance, then the rest is 8 lakh. It doesn't mean that you have to end up in 8 lakh for your policy lump sum. So it should be restored to 10 lakh. Maybe in, again, there are immediate cases this will be restored, or it might be in a month, or depending upon the few days after. But check before the taking the insurance what is the restoration period. And there are some additional benefit which is not mandatory like this, but again good to have. Like, this is something good to have, not mandatory. The above mentioned everything is mandatory, but this is something which we are discussing right now as a good to have. For example, free health check, free health checkup in an year, which is something good to have. Also, if you are seeking for alternative treatments, which means Unani, Ayurveda, make sure that if you are specifically looking for that, make sure that your insurance is providing these options too. And if you are just going for a very general and safeguarding insurance, the above points are mandatory. This is good to have again. And there is bonus in case if you don't claim, which means if you are taking a 10 lakh worth insurance, if you are not claiming for an year, maybe 25 percentage will be increased, which means 12.5 lakh will be the new policy amount. There are, it goes to 50 percentage. In the 50 percentage case, the policy amount will be go to 15 lakhs. So make sure that if you are looking for bonus, it's available in such terms. But of course, you are choosing something is a restoration option is there, then this bonus part is not that critical. So this is about health insurance. And if you have any doubt, feel free to comment. Also, we will be discussing about life insurance part. So this is all motive about this video is to educate someone who want to take an insurance rather than just directly jumping an agent or any advertisement. You have to wisely choose your insurance, and this is something a life investment, securing your life against any unexpected events. So this is all for today. We'll see you in the next video. Please feel free to like and share and subscribe.